What are we going to talk about today?
I want to share a little bit about some people in my life that have really made an impact. And one of the things that I've tried to do with my life is the people that have impacted me, I want to hopefully try to impact others with that same impact. And that's kind of what started a foundation called Pivot Family. And I know you're part of it. We've had some other people that have been big influences in that, D'Antonio Wingfield. But the goal really is to help people just to find purpose. Our life means something. It's just not, people need to know that there is purpose.
Do you think there's a lot of people out there that struggle with finding purpose?
No doubt about it. I mean, to be honest with you, in my own life, I mean, it can be a daily struggle. There are times you wake up and you think to yourself, you know what, I mean, I really don't want to get out of bed. I mean, and I think what that is a lot of times people don't see the purpose in getting out of bed. So, I mean, that's just, it affects all of us at some point.
So you told me this morning that you have a story to tell today.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited to hear that. You want to get into it?
Sure, I'd love to. One of the people that I've always liked to study people that are driven, that people that seem to just naturally get out of bed and just go. That inspires me. And I'll be honest with you, one of the people that has inspired me the most, it's the most driven individual I've ever met, is my father.
I can relate.
I remember when I was a kid, a lot of times you'll just be sitting there and I'll just think of conversations that we had. And one of the times I remember he said, Jay, I'm going to tell you something about work. A lot of people will say that they hate going to work, but I'm going to tell you about my work. Every morning, I'm so excited to get out of bed. I'm so excited when Monday morning comes. See, he was very driven in
That's
his work.
rare, too, isn't it?
Oh, no doubt about it. But here's something that I learned about him. He wasn't always driven when it came to school.
That's crazy. You would think there would be a parallel there, but...
Oh, yeah, and that's the thing. And what happened, and my mom told me this, is that when I was in 8th grade, I was in algebra, and I enjoyed math. And she made the statement to me one time that your father did not get to the level you're at in 8th grade all the way throughout high school.
Gosh.
Well, I asked him about it, and he said, yeah, to be honest with you, when I was in school, I didn't have drive. I didn't really see the purpose in school. But that all changed when he became a senior.
What happened?
Basically, what happened is a friend of his told him about a job at a drugstore. So he needed money. My family did not come from a family of means. They struggled at times. So he was excited about the opportunity. And really the job was a lot of menial tasks. I mean, you basically stocked the shelves, you swept, you did things like this. But he said that while in that job, he thought to himself, you know what? I could see myself being a pharmacist. You know what? I could see myself one day potentially owning a pharmacy.
Oh, wow.
And what I learned is that he didn't get any smarter. But what happened was he had purpose. Well, from there, he didn't come from a family of means, so he had to figure out how to make this dream a reality. What he would do was he had to basically go through remedial classes at junior college. He carpooled to work. He didn't have money, so he had to find a carpool. He had to work during and after school. He had to study real hard because he was a little bit behind.
So his path wasn't very sexy.
No, not at all. Not at all.
His dream, the outcome of his dream was.
Right.
So, Jay, do you feel like a lot of times when people have a goal or a dream that sometimes they don't realize that the path may not look like they want it to?
Exactly. Sometimes the path, there can be some detours. I'll give you an example. When my father was in school to go to pharmacy school, that's what he is now, he actually had to drop out of school. He actually had to work for several semesters just to be able to pay for school. See, back when he was around, there wasn't such thing as a Hope Scholarship. He had to work for school. Not only that, it was during the Vietnam War. So he pretty much ended up enlisting to go. He ended up not having to fight because it was the tail end of the war. But so he had a lot of detours before he was able to fulfill the purpose. But he always kept the eye on the prize.
So he knew what he wanted then.
Oh, no
he
doubt
was
about
committed 100%.
He was committed 100%. And my mom would tell a story that they got married, I think, his final year in pharmacy school. And she said that
She timed that right, didn't she?
no doubt about it. She thought that he was the most studious individual she'd ever met. She said that he would lock himself in the room and was so disciplined about studying. And what's interesting is 6, 7, 8 years ago, he wasn't like that. What is different? He had purpose.
How did that affect the people around him?
Well, I mean,
his dedication.
Number one, okay, so he got out of school. He got a job as a pharmacist. From there, he ended up finding about a store here in Albany, Georgia called You Save It.
Mm-hmm.
He was able to buy You Save It, and through that, now he is a partner in, or has ownership in over 35 stores. He actually employs over 300 people.
I guarantee you, in his dream early on, he wasn't even thinking about that.
Oh yeah,
I guarantee you, he was thinking about. Don't you think he was just merely thinking about his commitment?
Oh yeah,
and his purpose and what he knew he wanted to do.
Right.
Right.
That's absolutely.
And so the path, it didn't really matter how rocky it got.
Right.
He was able to deal with it because he found purpose in it, right?
No doubt about it, and that had an influence on me. And one of the reasons the foundation, the Pivot Family Foundation, what we want to do is we want people to realize that life does matter, that there is purpose in life. And the key to that is we want to be able to help people to find that purpose. And here's the second thing is the great thing about purpose is it doesn't necessarily just have a positive effect on you. It affects a lot of other people. He's got so many other people whose lives have been positively impacted, whether it's employees, whether it's customers, the community as a whole, just because he was able to find purpose.